Hey, welcome back to another edition of Ego on Break. I'm your host, Dynamite J. Andrews. Got the Mississippi Madman, Logan Creed, sitting to my left.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes he sits, sometimes he, something else. I don't know. So, we'll talk a little bit about wrestling, talk about MLW. We didn't get to talk about that last week. But, overall, successful week in wrestling, I believe. Shout out to our friends over at the Battle Zone. Had a new beginning and saw a lot of the Ego regulars down there helping them relaunch. So very cool that they took it upon themselves to join the mission of cleaning up Mississippi wrestling. So very cool job. So congrats to them. Had a really good event, and I believe they have a new heavyweight champion in Frankie Thomas. So very cool. Out with the old, in with the new. So very cool for them. He's mad.
I'm just looking for the new, but okay.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of Ego regulars there. That's new. So, I watched a little bit of wrestling. Today I watched Matt Sydal take on the villain Marty Scurll for the TV title in Ring of Honor.
Sweet.
And it was a very, very good match. I definitely tell you.
That must have been old.
I have no idea.
The TV champion right now is the suplex machine guy.
No, okay. That must have been old. But I just kind of like typed in Ring of Honor and
Cobb.
Looked down, and that's what came up.
Yeah, Cobb.
So it was,
TV
but it was Marty Scurll and Matt Sydal. Very hard hitting, very technical match.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. Kind of got inspired by the main event of MLW, so kind of went back looking for some different stuff on Ring of Honor, and found that. So it was very cool.
What the Japanese match?
Yep. I really like it.
Yeah, that was real good.
And then I watched, I found Paul London versus Kid Cash, NWA-TNA, the Asylum years.
I probably saw that one.
Kid Cash had just defeated Sonny Siaki for the title. This was his first title defense. And a very, very young Paul London, like 22 years old. So it was really cool to see that match. It was good. I really enjoyed it. So definitely two matches I can recommend to go watch.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Cash. I don't think he ever got used anywhere right, though, besides, like, ECW.
I mean, you know,
TNA wasn't bad.
What's used right, you know what I mean?
Well,
I mean, he had a job. He got to wrestle on TV. He didn't lose every match, so, I mean...
And he looked like Kid Rock.
He looked like Kid Rock, so... overall, it was pretty cool. So, and then I watched MLW. Did you watch anything that wasn't in MLW this week?
Not this week, I hadn't. Not yet.
All right, well, we'll jump right into MLW. First match, we got to see Jordan Oliver with Myron Reed taking on Gringo Loco.
Did you get to see Jordan Oliver's promo?
I don't remember it, so I'm going to say no.
Yeah, okay. You probably wouldn't remember it because it was just really, really bad.
Okay.
And yeah, he really, really needs to work on it, and they really, really don't need to put that crap online if it's that bad.
Gotcha.
So, it was bad.
It was a rough promo, huh?
The match was way better.
Yeah, the match was good.
Actual
I mean,
promo.
I'm still not a fan of Jordan Oliver.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Gringo Loco, but
I mean, he's 19.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a long way to go.
Yeah,
you know,
he's got a long way to go.
As long as he continues to, you know, get better, he'll definitely be. He's got some size. He just has no weight. You know,
yeah, he's little.
So overall, I mean, it was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Second match was, help me out here.
Wait a minute. I wanted to ask you a question about the match because they gave AEW hell about a chair shot to the head. Yet they did a chair shot to the head at MLW.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So,
I don't think it was as vicious.
Well,
as
nobody got
AEW,
split.
though. Yeah,
so I guess that was a big deal.
I mean, if you take chair shots to the head, as long as it doesn't hurt nobody's feelings, then it's okay. But the moment it hurts somebody's feelings, cut that out.
So it is the same crowd.
Yeah. So nobody, I guess nobody cared enough for Gringo Loco for it to hurt their feelings.
Fat guy that flips. I mean, come on.
Who had a little known fact about Gringo Loco is he almost died here a couple years ago. Like had a heart attack or thought he was having a heart attack or something. He was at a wrestling event, but basically his diet consists of energy drinks, and he had drunk one too many energy drinks, and it liked to shut his heart down.
So he did like Austin and Mania 19. And he thought he was having a damn stroke.
Yep. But I think he spent like a week in the hospital or something like that.
And
maybe he even died. They brought him back to life or something. I don't remember the whole story. But if you want to find out, just dig through the archives of
Gringo Loco.
No, AIW. Podcast. They have a podcast on Stitcher.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on there. I've heard it on there. So.
I really like Gringo Loco. I think he's one of those guys. Now, he's one I've never heard cut a promo, and I really want to hear him talk because I don't know if he can or not.
Well, I mean, I know he can talk, but I don't know how well he does it.
That's what I mean. Is he entertaining?
Is he better than Jordan Oliver? Is that what
that
you're saying?
doesn't take much, but yeah.
But overall, that was cool. We did see at the beginning of the episode, Conan got attacked.
Took a beating.
Yeah. And I guess Selena got her phone back, or got Conan's phone.
She got a phone back.
Yeah. So was it hers?
He didn't download all the stuff off the phone. They do have, little ports on the side.
Yeah, that's true. So
you plug stuff in, put it on a computer or a hard drive or whatever.
So who knows, huh?
So that storyline could still be wide open.
There you go. There you go. Do you remember the second match? Because I don't.
Not MJF, the other one.
Oh yeah, it was Richard Holliday versus Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, and it was
good. I am definitely becoming a fan of Richard Holliday. So
yeah,
I think if he ever gets past like being generic, like he's a generic character with the $1 Million Man thing.
But he's got a great promo. Like, he can really talk.
Yeah, and that's what I think I like about him. He's not bad in the ring.
No, he's a big guy. He's way bigger than what you think he is. And him and Brian had a really good match.
Yeah, it was very solid. Probably Brian's best match to date.
Yeah, I would say so.
Or at least in the MLW. I mean, he may have better matches somewhere else. But
they were even talking about Tony Schiavone and them, like how, Brian's put on some weight. Like, he's probably 30 pounds heavier, if not a little more.
Right.
And it's a muscle, so
it's very cool.
The finish was real good, but they did the Eddie Guerrero spot.
Yeah,
so
I dug the finish. Good. So and they did a twist on it, so it was kind of cool.
Because it wasn't he disqualified him; he just took the weapon away, turned his back, and
and I like the straight jacket neck breaker. That was pretty cool. So
I'm a big
I don't know if I'd ever seen it.
One other person in Ring of Honor I saw do it years ago. So I don't even remember who it was. I just remember it was Ring of Honor.
Right, I got you. And then the main event we got to see come from Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan. I guess it was via satellite.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was actually kind of cool.
And it was Go Suzuki? No, that's not right.
I'm horrible with Japanese names.
It was a solid match.
Shizaki?
Yes, Shizaki. I could see it in my head.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like,
versus Hammerstone.
Yeah, Hammerstone.
And it was a really, really good match.
Yeah.
It definitely...
and I'd say the same thing with Hammerstone. That's probably the best match I've seen him
for sure.
in.
It was a throwback to, like some early Ring of Honor stuff. It had that feel to it. I guess that's what made me kind of go back and look for some old stuff. And
it was hard hitting for sure.
Yeah, it was a very good match. So definitely go watch that main event if nothing else. So and then they announced that Dominic Guarini was coming to MLW, and I'm super excited to that.
I've never seen this guy.
Oh man, I've been a Guarini fan for about 2 years now, I guess. He trained at AIW under Gargano. Mm-hmm. So super cool.
I know he's a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah,
I saw that.
But the dude is really, really good. So I really enjoy him. And
is he kind of like Thatcher now?
He definitely brings in his jiu-jitsu background into wrestling.
I saw they called him the Bone Collector.
Yeah, he's probably one of the better guys to do it. Like, he incorporates that style into wrestling a lot better than most I've seen.
I'll hit YouTube this afternoon, see what I can find.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely enjoy his stuff. So go watch it.
Then you go see Filthy, Dirty, Nasty
Tom Lawler.
Yeah, cut a promo.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad. He's not a bad promo
He's not
guy.
a promo guy in the sense of let me talk
because it was an interview
into the
slash
promo. I mean, he's more of like an everyday guy. You know what I mean? And I think that's the appeal to Tom is, he's not polished.
And they showed you the end of last week's show because you didn't get to see what they showed when Loki did the save.
Right.
And they did the handshake. I thought that was cool. So that kind of gave, we cool right now. Yeah. We might beat the hell out of each other later.
And that was kind of like they interviewed pretty much everybody on the team, and everything was like, we don't know if we can trust Loki, but we do share the same enemy.
Well, he's a
so
warrior.
We can trust him to fight with us up until the point we rid MLW of Contra. Then I don't know what's going to happen, but so they're kind of keeping that part of it, and I really like that. We got to see a Mansour promo too. He pretty much was saying, "Hey, Havoc, you know, you think sending me to jail is going to scare me off?" No, he's like,
just gave him time to think.
Yeah, he said, "I wasn't drinking and thinking, I was just thinking," and
that made it worse.
Yeah, and he was like, "I'm not going to use the adult words," but he's like, "Old Mansour's going to mess you up."
Yeah,
so.
they got a little foul on those. I was like, wow.
So overall, cool episode. Like I say, I really enjoyed the main event. I didn't know if I'd like it with it kind of being, you know, brought in. That's something Impact has done quite a bit.
They used to.
Impact will bring in matches from other promotions during their show. I don't think they've done it as the main event, but they've definitely brought them in as like, hey, here's such and such from wherever. So it's very cool with that too.
And then they give you a highlight reel building up to the, what is the name of it?
Basically War Games. I
mean, I know it's War Games. They got their own name for it. Because now WWE uses War Games, so they can't use that no more. But the cage match looks good. I'm definitely curious on that one.
I'm curious to see the guy with the Contra that I hadn't seen, the Japanese
guy. Asian guy, you know, that surprised me. I really thought they might give you like a singles match this week.
Yeah, where he squashed somebody or
something. Yeah,
because
really, you got nothing about him, and he's just kind of going into a match on, besides spitting the stuff in the one Von Erich's eyes twice. You don't really know nothing about him. So that's kind of weird going in like that with him.
Right. I hope the first two in the match is him and the Von Erich they blinded. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean,
so you kind of get a taste of that.
Build up of what the hell he does.
Right. So I'd be pretty cool with that. So I think that's all I've really watched. You got anything else?
I got a question for you because particular masked wrestler we know, there's some people telling him to take it off and some people telling him to leave it on. And what's your opinion on the scenario?
I'd say study Rey Mysterio.
I say study Bray Wyatt, considering he put a mask on and he's the hottest thing in WWE right now. Yet some people are trying to live back in the 70s and 80s talking about, well, you're sexy, you'll bring chicks to the wrestling show. And I'm like, this isn't the 70s and 80s no more. Most of the damn wrestling show guys look like me and you.
Well,
and some of the women look like me and you. So,
like I say, do I think he could be successful without it? Sure. Do I think he could be successful with it? Sure. Like, what he wears isn't gonna make him. It's the hustle he's got inside. But
do you think that's giving up a lot of merchandise?
Oh, for sure.
So for sure. Stupid.
But on the, I think you lose that superhero feel that you have for kids and stuff. But like, if you go back and look at a lot of the luchadors, and I mean, I'm sure you can think of as many that has become successful without it, but there's a bunch that didn't do as well once they took it off. You know, Mysterio being one of them.
I was gonna say, I think he did worse, and he kind of always added something. Like he had the horns. Remember, he kept adding things because he was trying to figure out, he was 12.
Yeah, trying to figure out what worked. You know, so but I mean, I guess that's a decision not for me to make, but.
No, I just wanted your opinion.
My opinion is, I like wrestling for characters.
Yeah.
And if you can come up with a character that doesn't require a prop, because I mean, in reality, that's what a mask is. Same thing with face paint. Same thing with chainsaw, whatever. You know, if you can make it work without it, great. But at this level, I believe that characters work better than a guy in gear that does nothing. There's a million guys that are just guys that wrestle, you know. They really don't have anything for them. They don't have a quality to them. They don't have a character. They don't have anything that's relatable. They're just like, oh, look at me. I got some wrestling gear and I'm a wrestler. I believe that, especially at this level now, you know, if we're talking Ring of Honor, if we're talking whatever, you know, it still works to an extent, but you know, most of your more successful wrestlers were always character based. I mean, even Hogan was a character. You know, Warrior was a character. Ric Flair was a character. Sting was a character. You know, everybody was a character. Those guys that just went out there and wrestled, they wasn't necessarily super successful. Now I'm sure there's exceptions to the rules, but
you did two different characters basically. You did White and Nerdy, which is not you in no way whatsoever. No. And then you did Jay Andrews. You were just a guy that wrestled and a t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean,
or the belly?
Jay Andrews was, excuse
up?
my French, chicken shit heel. He liked to act big, but then he would run when he got in trouble.
Still with Dr. Peppers.
Yeah, the Linwood Andrews, the white nerdy thing was, let me see if I can rip off Eugene. Pretty much. I wasn't necessarily nerdy as much as I was special. And
you always remind me of the guy that used to be with Bobby Heenan's talk show, and he had the stuff hanging out of his yeah.
So I mean, it was a comedy thing. It wasn't meant to be serious. I was never taken serious. I remember the first time I wrestled as Jay Andrews. One of the guys was like, I didn't know you could wrestle that well. And I'm like, you don't know how hard I have to work to look like I don't know what I'm doing, you know?
Exactly.
And I'm not the best. Like, I've said this from day one. I'm not the best. You can look around and find people better than me. But I do have a good concept of what should be done and how it should be done. And you'll never find me doing stuff that isn't believable. Like, I'm not picking anybody above my head.
Nope.
You know, I mean, you may find me give the occasional hip toss or body slam, but it was meant.
It better be somebody smaller than you.
Right. I mean, even people my size, I don't pick up that much.
So you wrestled me a bunch of times. You never pick me up.
Yeah, it's not believable.
No.
I mean,
period.
So even if you're helping me, I still probably can't pick you up. I'm not
forklift, maybe.
You know, muscles is not in my repertoire. You know, so
I agree.
I was a punch, kick, rake your eyes. I cheat. You know, I'd fill your mouth full of popcorn or whatever.
Strap throat.
So, you know, and even as you know, Jay Andrews, when I was vicious, is because I cheated.
Yeah.
You know, so once I could be dirty and get you down, I would fight dirty. You know, so.
Well, here's my thing: is like if this guy did decide to take the mask off, and I know for a fact, I don't think it's happening anytime soon, but this guy has asked me repeatedly, help me with another character, help me with another. I'm like, you already got one.
Yep.
Why go away from that?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No.
So.
You know, but I mean, I did 3 different versions of myself. One was a painted face, one was a mask, and one was a redneck. But they were all basically the same damn thing. I just had a different look.
Yeah. My thing is, I had a thought, I can't remember it, so never mind. But
damn chair shots.
I don't know, man. Just like I say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean. There are guys out there that I can go, hey, I'd love to remake him. I would love to add stuff to him. I'd love to take stuff away. I see where I can help him improve. The things that would help this guy improve is not what you see.
That's what I say.
So, he's got the hustle. All he's got to do is he's just looking for that one break. And I don't know if you're going to get it without the mask. You know, so.
But everybody's like, well, they just hired this one guy from WWE. He had on the mask and they took it off. I was like, yeah, but
the reason he got hired was probably because of the mask.
Might have been. I was like, but they also, what was the guy they hired from Mexico and he never got over, kept getting hurt all the time? Sin Cara.
Mystico, yes, Sin Cara.
And you know they wound up giving that gimmick to another guy.
Yep.
So,
I mean, again, it's all how you invest in it. It's all how you hustle it, you know. You can find examples of mask guys who didn't succeed. You can find guys with not a mask that didn't succeed. Tag teams, face paint, purple hair, whatever. I mean,
right now, Bray's mask is one of the highest selling items on WWE merchandise right now.
Yep.
And I think they're like $30 or $40. Like, they're pretty high. So, a piece of rubber. But
I mean, my advice to this guy is go somewhere where nobody knows you and try something.
That's what I'd do. I wouldn't do it in your area, but if you travel out of the area and they will still book you as that,
right?
Go for it. See what happens.
And try 50 things. You know, try a million things. Try whatever until something worked.
But I mean, hell, he worked in NXT, didn't have a mask on, and they didn't hire him.
That's it. Well, you know, like Wes Adams. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Wes's, but I respect anytime he was on a smaller show or something, he was always trying something different.
You got to. You don't
I
never
can give
know
him
what's
that.
going to happen, man.
I've seen this guy go from a biker to, you know,
I'm not sure
a lifeguard. I mean, I've seen him be John Cena Jr. one time. I've seen him be like a SWAT member. Like, he was S.H.I.E.L.D. before S.H.I.E.L.D. was S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, like, he was just throwing stuff at the wall and see what stuck. And unfortunately, what stuck was a referee. And that's not a knock on him because, hey, he was a phenomenal ref. Like, you know, like he was tearing it up. but like he wasn't afraid to try different stuff. And so,
as long as you get paid, that's a big part.
Yeah, to this guy, I'd definitely say go somewhere where nobody knows you and try something different.
That's it.
You know, I mean, that's the thing. Hell, drive to a show, just like show them, go, hey, I got some gear in the back, you know. Can't work the battle royal, whatever. Just see if you can find something that sticks.
That's it. Because you never know what might stick.
That's it. So, hey, guys, that's been this episode of Ego on Break. Let us know in the comments what you think about masked wrestlers taking their mask off and if that would advance their career or if they kept it on. Let us know what you thought about MLW, because really would like to hear your feedback as well. And plus, like, the comments and stuff just help with the algorithms and help get our videos out there. So just support us by commenting, whether it's good or bad. Hey, if we're doing something you hate it, let us know. We can take criticism.
Sure.
We may make fun of you, but we can take it. You know?
Just make fun back. That's the whole point.
But overall, like, you know, if you got a topic, we hadn't did a topic in a while. So if you got a topic you'd like to hear us do, if you're tired of hearing us talk about MLW,
that's the only one I really watch.
Yeah, me too. So shoot us a topic, man. We'd really like to have something else to talk about. And maybe that's what we do next week is we pull a topic. If you send us one, if not, maybe I'll make something up. But
that's what you did anyway.
Yeah. And just let us know. Until next time, watch wrestling. Later.